Hello everyone and welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build. So this is probably the second house I did after my computer started, well not really the computer but the game started acting a little weird. I'm not sure still exactly what it was. And I'm not sure why I called this house Strawberry Breeze, but that is what I ended up calling it. I think because I used a little bit of pink on the exterior brick, I think probably. Not really too sure, but it's a small house and just, you know, kind of like a, not really a cottagey feel, but kind of like, it's more like a Cape Cod style, I guess, which can also be cottagey, I guess. But it's a simple build. It only has 2 bedrooms. One is upstairs, one is downstairs. The upstairs, I put a double bed in so you could at least get 2 children in that bed, but you could easily change it out to 2 single beds or even do something different with the upstairs. The master bedroom is downstairs, so, but of course here I am just struggling with the roof like I always do. I always have a certain style in mind and then sometimes trying to get it to work the way I want it to just doesn't always end up the way I think it should. So just trying to figure out something. I wanted a nice corner basically on the left there. I just wanted something nice and that's kind of what I was trying to shoot for. And as you can see, yeah, I struggled. But we end up getting it. That ends up being the final product right there. And then of course just getting the stairs in the way I like to have them with a little bit of foundation. Just some basic stuff, nice railing. I'm pretty sure I probably put, you know, some beams or columns or whatever you want to call them. But there's the brick I ended up using. I guess that's probably why I ended up calling it the way I did, because it is kind of a pinkish color. I don't know. I suck at coming up with names, so why some of them I have for a name, I have no idea. But that is definitely not my strong point right there. So this house was not easy to do. As you can see, it still is base game. I'm not sure when in the build it ends up having a little bit more content. It'll be somewhere during the furnishing, because that's when I was having the problem of it crashing, was during the while I was furnishing it. So somewhere along the lines, we'll start getting some more stuff added, and the houses will start being a little bit more than just a base game. And of course, if you're wondering, yes, I am building this in a Luna Island. But you don't, of course, need to have this in a Luna Island. You can put this wherever you want. It is on a flat lot, so it does not need a cliff or anything hilly or anything like that. So I do like the way the house ended up turning out. I think I ended up putting Generations in next. I think probably because I want, you know, for the playground area, I guess. I'm going to guess. I don't know. This was done back in, according to my file date anyway, of when I sped the video up. This was done back in middle of April. So we're looking at almost 2 months, you know, a month and a half, going, you know, almost 2 months back. So I'm trying to remember what I did, but I really can't. I have so many speed builds for y'all. It just, it's unreal the amount that I have. But you know, that's good because that means I got to take a little bit of a break and, you know, and maybe do a few other special things here and there. All I'm doing right here is just kind of moving the tiles around. That way it didn't look quite so pattern-like. I absolutely hate that pattern look. But by doing it that way, by moving them around a little bit, kind of gave them a little bit more of a mixed match look. So that's kind of why I was doing that, if you were wondering. Of course, using my favorite cherry tree. I love that tree in this game. It's nice and small, and it looks great for an accent tree in the front yard. I just love it. There's certain trees you're going to see that I use all of the time. And I would have to say the one thing I do miss about in Sims 4, I love the plants and everything in Sims 4, but the one thing I do miss are the plants that don't have any flowers in them at all. I like having plants that don't have any flowers. Sometimes it's just too many flowers. So, yeah, I kind of go a little overboard, I think, a little bit this time with the plants. But I think it turns out nice. I like the way the exterior of this house ended up turning out. So, it's just nice and cozy. I like the way it looked. So, And yes, if you're wondering, your mailbox will work. I have done that multiple times, and the few times that I played in the house that had a mailbox like that, it did work. However, the one thing that I have noticed that when I do put a lot back in, my mailboxes aren't always in the same spot that I put them. I really don't know why that is. It just is. And I guess those are base game outside stuff. So I'm not sure when I end up putting more stuff in. I know we're going to start seeing more. And let me tell you, decorating with base game objects for me is extremely hard. So, but eventually we will get to the interior furnishing, and eventually we will start seeing more items being added. And then of course the furnishings will start, in my opinion, getting a lot nicer. So as you can see, the upstairs is actually quite small. Ends up having it's kind of a balcony, only because I really didn't have any idea what I could really do with the open, like where the windows and stuff are. So they kind of got left open. So, but yeah, I struggled. I really did. I struggled with furnishing. The floor plan isn't really all that bad, of course, but trying to find stuff. I hated not having the one end table that I use all the time. That's not very wide or very deep, I guess you could say. Nice table that you see in hallways and everything. That sucks not having that table. They don't have anything good for that. It was terrible. I hated it. But yeah, that eventually there is some store content used, or not used in this, I should say. There's store content that was installed. I can see a little bit of the little boxes there. So there are a few store content items put in. I was just testing stuff. I was adding a few things here and there. I must have decided to add some store content. There must have been a reason. I think I know what it might have been. It might have been for one of my Let's Plays or something. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so there's a few of those things added. I'm not sure when we add, but I was basically just making sure that it was running okay, and I was going through, decorating like I normally do. I'm going through doing all my patterns, going to this, going to that. I don't really do anything in any specific order. When I think of something, that's when I do it. So if I happen to think, I want some new patterns, then I will go into Create a Style and I will do whatever I need to do for that. If I'm like, I want to put this object here, then I will exit out of whatever I am and put that object in. And if I want to recolor it, then I'm going to recolor it. It doesn't really matter to me what order I do things in. It just kind of, whatever happens, happens. So, but as you can see, it seems like it was going really good. I didn't have any problems building this house whatsoever. In fact, all the houses for the next ones that you will be seeing have absolutely no problems in them. The game ran fine. The only thing I can come up with that was going on was there was something wrong in the actual main game file, not in any sub-files or mods or store content or any of my custom content for my Sims. It was in the main file, a corruption. It had to have been, and it was in the base game somewhere. So your main game to install to load everything else in, there was something not right with it. So but because of not having very many items, I had decided that I didn't want the houses to be too big. And that's why these houses are kind of small, since I am just doing them testing, and since, I was really actually starting to run out of ideas. I was really not sure what to do. I was actually getting really tired of building, let me tell you. I think I did 9 or 10 of them in about 2 weeks' time, and for me that is a lot, and I was really starting to get burned out. And I hope the quality of my builds do not show that. I hope they still look just as good as if, as any other time, I hope. So, maybe let me know in the comments below. Let me know when my quality of builds start to suck. But yeah, this house, it's small, but it's cozy. It has everything your sim needs. As you can see, it's fully decorated. Not quite as decorated as what I would normally do, but it is, You know, everything is there. Normally what I was doing with the testing, now that I think about it, is I did a lot of the downstairs area and then would end up adding some stuff and then doing the upstairs area, or I would do about half of it, I should say, in some way or another, and then move to the other half with the new expansion packs added. And that mirror that I put in the dining room area, I don't know if you caught it or not, but for whatever reason it didn't show the lines it normally has. I think that's just my settings. You guys should be fine if you download it. There's some later builds that I do that I use that same mirror and it looks just fine. So it's not the build. It's probably just my settings at the time of this build. I probably had the graphics turned down and not really realizing I wasn't really messing with that too much. I mostly just wanted to make sure my build was going to work before I started messing with any other settings. So, you know, when you're testing stuff, you kind of gotta go in certain orders and you can't change a whole lot at one time, because then if it does crash, you don't know what caused it. So yeah, this was rough. Let me tell you, it was rough trying to figure out what was going on, and I was getting so frustrated. But this is the up and up. The house builds start doing good, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad. This is the dining room. It's kind of like odd shape. If you look at the floor plan, it just kind of looks like it was added on later, which, you know, it probably was. It was probably a room that got added on later to the house and was an original, and that's probably why it looks a little like it's not supposed to be there. So, but yeah, oh, I think I remember, was it? No, it wasn't this house. No, I don't remember. I was thinking it did crash, but no, it wasn't in this house. It was a different house that it was doing that in. Yes, I think I already put that up a video, I think, for that already, and I think it's already up for download. I was thinking of the wrong house, but I was thinking, yeah, it did crash once, but no, it didn't. That was a different house. Just kind of mixed up. There's that mirror again. It's not those, but the smaller one. As you can see, the lines weren't there, but don't worry, they will be in your game. I decided I would put like a little buffet kind of area here in the dining room. I thought it would look nice. So just kind of figure out the wood here. I wanted it to look good, and just a bunch of little knickknacks things posted. Put whatever I could. I didn't have much to choose from, so I was trying to do whatever I could with what I had. It looks like we have an expansion pack added. It looks like it is Generations, I think. I'm not very good at trying to tell you what those are based on those little pictures. So it looks like all you're going to need for this house is going to be Generations in the base game, because I don't think I would have added any more because I was only doing one expansion at a time. So now we're just going ahead and going to be going into the entranceway and the living room. The living room is actually kind of small. I actually don't mind having a little bit of a small living room, because honestly, my Sims don't really do anything in there except for maybe watch TV once in a while. And I had decided I wanted to go ahead and do a carpeted style of staircase. Why I decided to do that, I don't know. I actually prefer wood. But for some reason, I just decided to go with a carpeted stairs. I don't know. Most houses, actually, believe it or not, a lot of them, if the staircase is in a room that has carpet, a lot of times the stairs are carpeted the same as that room. So I don't know why I always usually just choose wood. I guess I decided to be a little bit different this time. So here's a living room. It's small, but it pretty much does what it needs to do. I mean, you got your couches and your TV, and that's really all you need. So they don't have really an expensive TV. It's a small one. I've been trying not to always use an expensive TV all the time. I've been trying to use some of the cheaper ones, just kind of, you know, spice it up a little bit. Plus, of course, I didn't have too many to choose from, obviously. So stuck in a mirror because, you know, I don't normally do that, but I didn't really have anything. So yeah, this house has probably decorations that I don't normally use, mostly, or in a way that I don't normally use them, since there wasn't really a whole lot to choose from. But here's the main bed, or the master bedroom. It does not have an ensuite this time. You have the bathroom downstairs, and then there's a bathroom upstairs as well. So I believe there's at least 2 bathrooms. I think I probably already said that earlier on, but I really am not 100% certain on that. So I really don't know. But yeah, the master bedroom is basically just the normal decorating that I normally do, you know, the bedroom and the dresser, and I try putting a few knick-knack things type of here, you know, make it look a little bit cluttered and stuff like that. But and then I love that chair. That is my favorite chair. Probably the reason why. Actually, I was trying to figure out which expansion pack had the darn end tables, and apparently I was wrong. I remember thinking that maybe it was Generations that had that one side table, and then putting it in, I'm thinking, crap, that's the wrong one. That did not have what I thought it was going to have. So, but I tried. I don't remember if I kept. Yeah, I did end up keeping that. I made it like a plant shelf. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those or not, but sometimes they have like a plant shelf that's in the landing area. That's kind of what I tried to make. So I tried to decorate the landing a little bit. It's really small. It really couldn't fit nothing, but hey, you got a bookshelf. So at least there's a bookshelf in there that blocks the window and prevents light from coming in. But you know, it's there. So here's the bedroom. It's the kid's bedroom. I do decorate it for a child, but I decided I wanted to go with a double bed. Even if you only have one child, I mean, you know, I had a full-size bed growing up, so, you know, I guess it's whatever. Plus, you can fit 2 Sims. I guess that's kind of the way I see it. The way I saw it was we only had one bedroom, but let's try to get it where we can have at least 2 kids. So, but it's decorated for a child, as you can see. I went with kind of like a blue and yellow. I thought that kind of made it a little bit neutral. That's kind of what I was shooting for. I wanted it to be a room that could be for either or. So there's a few girl posters on the wall. There's some boy posters on the wall. Just different miscellaneous objects, hoping to kind of create a little bit of the neutral type of style. And then here's the bathroom upstairs. Nothing fancy, I don't think, about it. Just your usual. I use, you know, basic tile, and I've actually been using those tiles actually quite a bit. I love those tiles. I don't know why I never used them before. But my early builds never had those tiles, and I don't know why I never did that. And I really like them. Those are one of my favorites. In fact, I think I'm overusing them. I might be. I felt like by the end of these builds, I felt like I was starting to repeat so much. I was getting to the point where I'm thinking, gosh, am I doing the same stuff over and over again? Are my rooms starting to look exactly the same? Am I making things different, or am I just repeating everything but in a different house? That's really what it felt like. I was really starting to feel like I was just doing the same things over and over and over. But just finishing up with the terrain painting. This is usually what I do last because I like to try to make sure I'm completely done before I go and finish up any terrain painting. Just kind of adding some dead grass type of look and some sand, and of course make it look a little bit more muddier and dirty where the more of the footprints and stuff of where you would go playing. I'm not exactly the greatest when it comes to terrain paint, but I try. So just adding a little bit of lights here and there to add some light outside, because I hate it when it's so dark and I can't see my Sims. I know I've said that so many times, but that is exactly why I add so many lights. And here are the screenshots. So I hope you enjoyed with the second build, I guess, of this series of checking my game. This one takes Generations and base game from the looks of it. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.